Close your eyes and imagine this.
This is not just a story. This is an adventure, a journey of magic, courage, friendship, and the fight between greed and goodness. Tonight, I will tell you the tale of Rani and the magical pencil. Long ago, nestled between green hills and a glistening river, there was a tiny village called Amapur. The villagers were simple people, farmers, shepherds, potters, and weavers who worked hard to earn their living. Among them lived a little girl named Rani. Rani was about 12 years old with sparkling brown eyes and hair as dark as the monsoon clouds. Though she had no parents, they had passed away when she was very young, she had a heart full of love and imagination. Rani loved to draw. Every morning she woke up before sunrise, ran to the edge of the village with a stick in her hand, and drew pictures on the ground. The sun rising, a flock of birds, a little house with smoke coming out of its chimney. Her drawings were so full of life that the other children gathered around her and clapped. But Rani had no real pencils, no paper, no colours. She dreamed of one day owning a real pencil set with bright crayons and a sketchbook. One afternoon, as the village held its annual fair, Rani wandered around looking at the toys, sweets, and colourful kites. She wanted to buy a small paintbrush, but she had no money. Disappointed, she began to walk back home through the forest path. And that was when everything changed.
And that was when everything changed. The forest was quiet that evening. Birds chirped softly. The air smelled of wet earth. The orange glow of the setting sun painted everything golden. Suddenly, Ronnie's eyes fell on something shining near the roots of an old banyan tree. It was a pencil, but unlike any pencil she had ever seen. It looked as if it were made of polished wood, with carvings of tiny stars and moons along its body. Ronnie picked it up carefully. Who could have dropped such a pretty pencil? She wondered. Out of curiosity, she bent down and drew a small apple on the ground. As soon as she completed the last curve, something magical happened. Pop! An actual apple appeared in front of her. Ronnie gasped, her heart thumping with excitement. Did this just turn real? She whispered. She tried again. This time she drew a little bird. The ground shimmered, and in a second, a real bird appeared. Chirped happily, and flew away into the forest. Ronnie couldn't believe her eyes. This pencil is magic, she said, holding it close. This can change my whole life, and maybe help my village too. From that day, Ronnie began using the pencil to help everyone. When a poor farmer had no food, she drew fruits and vegetables. When children had no toys, she drew toys for them. When an old woman's roof leaked, Ronnie drew bricks and tiles to fix it. Soon, everyone in Amapur loved Ronnie and called her our little angel. But not everyone was happy. In the same village lived Banu Singh, the landlord. He was a tall man with a big mustache that curled at the ends. He owned most of the land and collected tax from the poor farmers. Banu Singh was rich, but he wanted more and more. When he heard about Ronnie's magical pencil, his eyes gleamed with greed. "A pencil that can turn drawings into reality," he muttered. "With that, I can build palaces of gold, mountains of jewels, and armies of soldiers. I will rule not just this village, but every village around." One night, he sent his men to follow Ronnie. When she went to sleep, they crept into her hut and stole the pencil. The next morning, the village woke up to see Banu Singh sitting on a golden throne outside his mansion. He had already drawn piles of gold, heaps of diamonds, and expensive horses. But he was not satisfied. He increased the taxes, forced villagers to work for him, and started building himself a golden palace. Slowly, the happy village turned into a place of fear. Ronnie cried. "It's my fault," she said to her friends Mohan and Kompa. "If I had kept the pencil safe, Banu Singh would never have taken it. We must bring it back. Not for me, but for the whole village." And thus began Ronnie's journey. Ronnie, Mohan, and Kompa packed some food and set off towards Banu Singh's mansion. But they knew they couldn't just walk in and take the pencil. They decided to seek help from the wise sage who lived deep inside the forest. The forest was dark and full of strange sounds. Owls hooted. Crickets chirped. Shadows danced in the moonlight. But Ronnie kept walking, holding a lantern. Finally, after hours of walking, they reached a small hut. Outside sat an old sage, with a long white beard and kind eyes. "Namaste, Baba," Ronnie said respectfully. "We need your help." The sage listened to their story and nodded slowly. "My child," he said, "the magical pencil was not an accident. It found you because your heart is pure. But to take it back from the hands of greed, you must show courage." He gave Ronnie a small crystal amulet. "This will protect you," he said. "But remember, the real power is not in the pencil, but in the choices you make." The path to Banu Singh's mansion was not easy. They crossed a raging river, where Ronnie used fallen logs to make a raft. They climbed a steep hill, where Mohan almost slipped but Ronnie caught his hand. One night, they entered a dark cave, where they met a mysterious witch. The witch cackled and said, "So, you are the little girl who owned the magical pencil. WHY schuld die let you pass." Ronnie took a deep breath. "We are not here to harm you," she said bravely. "We only want to take back what belongs to the village, to help everyone." The witch was silent for a moment, then smiled. "Ah, such courage in such a small heart," she said. "Very well. But before I let you go, you must pass a test." She asked Ronnie to draw something that could bring light into the dark cave. But without using the magical pencil, since it was stolen. Ronnie thought for a moment, then picked up a piece of chalk and drew a simple sun on the wall. Her faith was so strong that the cave lit up magically. The witch clapped her hands. You have passed the test, child. Take this blessing. When the time comes, it will help you defeat greed. At last, they reached Banu Singh's palace. It was guarded by soldiers, but Ronnie and her friends sneaked inside at night. They saw Banu Singh sitting in his golden hall, drawing piles of jewels with the pencil. Quietly, Ronnie tiptoed and grabbed the pencil from the table. But just as they were about to leave, "Stop!"
Banu Singh roared.
He blocked their path, furious.
You dare steal from me?
This pencil is mine now. Ronnie stood tall. No, she said, her voice steady. This pencil was meant for good, not for your greed.
Banu Singh laughed.
And what will you do?
You are just a little girl.
Ronnie quickly drew a giant maze on the palace floor. Suddenly, the ground shifted, and Banu Singh and his men were trapped inside a labyrinth. The villagers, who had gathered outside, cheered. But then something unexpected happened. Banu Singh began to cry. Please, he said, let me out. I was blinded by greed. I see now that I hurt everyone, even myself. Ronnie hesitated. She could leave him there forever. But her heart was pure. She drew an open gate in the maze. Banu Singh walked out, ashamed. He fell at Ronnie's feet. Forgive me, little one, he said. From today, I will return everyone's land and never harm the village again. From that day on, Banu Singh changed completely. He became kind and helped the farmers. Ronnie used the magical pencil to build schools, wells, and bridges for the village. She drew trees so that there was always shade, and animals so that no one went hungry. Soon, Amapa became the happiest village in the region. One evening, the wise sage returned. You have proven yourself, child, he said. You used power not for revenge, but for good. That is why the pencil chose you. He blessed Ronnie, and the pencil glowed softly in her hand. From then on, Ronnie became the guardian of Amapa, loved by all.